let's talk about failure today. I want to talk about failure and the relationship that we scapegoats have developed with failure after growing up in a narcissistic family system, or at least after having been raised by a narcissistic parent. This is such an important topic to talk about because if you're raised in this kind of dysfunctional environment, truly your relationship with failure is probably distorted. The narcissistic parent will have distorted how you view yourself in the face of failure. And I want to talk to you about this as a mom, from the point of view of the mom that I am. And what inspired me to talk about this with you today is because, I have kids. And this is the type of conversation that I often have with my kids, If there's a mistake, when they fail at something, if there's disagreements, whatever happens. When there's mistakes or failures, that is a perfect opportunity as a parent to step in and have those heart-to-heart discussions with my own kids, And I think that this is what healthy parenting is all about, really. I mean, this is the perfect opportunity to have those heart-to-heart conversations with your children about what does it mean, what does failure mean, about, teaching them resilience, right? Teaching them that life isn't just winning at everything, and that sometimes, you will fail at something, but that does not represent who you are as a person. When you make mistakes, what did you do wrong? What can we do to better ourselves next time? How can we fix the problem? What is the problem? Let's examine that. Let's talk about our feelings and so forth, right? This is how, it's not, obviously nobody's perfect and everybody will make mistakes. And so as a parent, you step in and it's your job as a parent, to teach your kids, about life and its ups and its downs and how to handle failure, But look, if you come from a narcissistic family system, this is not how you have been raised, A narcissistic parent will tell you that you are defined by your failures. They will condition you to believe that your failures make you unworthy of your goals. They make you unworthy of love. They make you unworthy of being a part of that family, for example. It's almost like, if I can give you an example, let's say you have a parent that's teaching their kid to ride a bike. The healthy parent will put the kid on the bike and, let's go, right? And you run beside the kid and as they, they falter and maybe they fall and then you catch them and then eventually they go faster and faster and you let them go and you go, yay, and you cheer for the kid, right? But if you're raised by a narcissistic parent, you'll get on that bike and the first time that you fall, that parent will say, see, I told you can't ride a bike. I told you can't do it. Come on the tricycle right beside mommy because you can't do anything by yourself, okay? Come, I told you it was dangerous. You can't do it. And then they might even add on top of that's a lesson, teach you a lesson for what happens when you don't listen, to your parent. See, you're a failure. You fail. You have a terrible character for having even tried to ride a bike when I told you not to. That's how a narcissistic parent will behave towards you in that scenario, And so, your narcissistic parent will condition you to believe that your worth as a person is directly tied to your mistakes, fully, They will do this in many different ways. First of all, they will do this through, conditional love. A narcissistic parent only loves conditionally, okay? They do not understand the concept of unconditional love. If you do not worship them correctly, if you have a different dream or different ideas for yourself than they do, forget it. Forget it. And if you make a mistake, they will turn that as an opportunity to abuse psychologically, emotionally, and physically. They will. You know, if a parent, the parent who will withhold love is teaching their child that when they make a mistake, that means that it's the end of the world. They're teaching a kid, you know, if you're a kid, your parent is everything. Your parent is emotional safety. Your parent is security. You're fully dependent on your parent for your survival. And so the parent who will take your mistakes, what you did, what they feel you did wrong, or even if, you did do mistakes, but they will take that and they will withhold love. They will abuse because you made a mistake. That teaches you that if you make a mistake as an adult, you kind of become conditioned deep down inside that if you make a mistake as an adult, the whole world will crash around you and burn. That's the conditioning that comes out. That's how they condition you. That's how they condition you to fear making mistakes and to fear the unknown. They will also, the second thing that they will do is that they will systematically and consistently zoom in on your mistakes to prove to you how flawed you are. They will zoom in on all your mistakes and they will say, see, you made a mistake. That proves that what I was saying, that I was right about you, that you can't do this, and you know, you cannot follow your aspirations. They will do this, they will utilize your biggest moments of weakness as well, right? Like if you know, were trying really hard to start a business, let's say, you know, and then some obstacles came along the way and you faltered, right? You know, you faltered. They will use whatever obstacles that came along the way. They will not teach you to, you know, logically look at what happened and see how you can improve the situation and such. They're not going to do that. They are going to zoom in on whatever happened. They are going to tell you that that happened because you can't handle life. They will psychologically manipulate you. See, I'm still here for you despite all the mistakes that you've ever made. I'm still here for you. I'm the only one who understands you. Now come with mama, you know, and do what mama says. It's horrendous. You're basically taught. I mean, they manipulate you. They take away your ability to even examine the mistake that you made. Separate yourself from that because your mistakes don't define you, right? But they take away your ability for you to separate yourself as a person from the mistake and see, okay, logically, where did I go wrong? What can I do? And they condition you to just continuously feel bad about yourself and look and just look to them and never really pushing yourself beyond your own limits to step to the other side and achieve your dreams and your goals, you know. Another thing that they will do is that they will also turn your best qualities into flaws. If you're curious about the world, they will turn that curiosity and turn it into fear. They will teach you to fear. And they will instill all sorts of beliefs in your head, you know, that that you can't do what you want to do because you're not smart enough, you're not good enough. You know, I had that in my upbringing, you know. I was labeled as a stupid one. And actually, when I decided to take on a science program, you know, in the beginning of my studies, so to speak. I chose animal related science program, and she gave me the silent treatment for like a good 6 months. And while I was doing the prerequisites to be able to get in, she was accusing me of doing drugs. And then of course, if I had a hard time with some subjects or whatever, I mean, all of that, any weakness throughout anything that I have ever done has always been used as proof. And this really develops such a difficult, you become absolutely conditioned to doubt yourself. You become conditioned to, you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in yourself. Your own, a parent is supposed to be that pillar, for their child. And look, you can do this. You can ride that bike. But when you're surrounded by voices that tell you, you can't do it. I told you you can't do it. Well, eventually you start to believe it. It sinks in. And it becomes very difficult to undo that. But the thing is that you really have to undo that, though. It's so important that you do. And I want to tell you something about failure, okay? Listen, it's really important that you know that everybody starts off as a fool. And so you have to give yourself permission to make those mistakes and give yourself permission to be a fool. Give yourself permission to start over 100 times if you have to, okay? That doesn't mean that you can't achieve your dream. It just means that you need to figure out how to do it. You have to find a different pathway. You have to, okay, this way didn't work, I'm going to try that way. That way didn't work, I'm going to try this way. And keep trying, keep taking those little steps. And even if your dream doesn't get accomplished exactly as you expected it to, you will still have learned valuable lessons. And as you grow and as you take those steps, as you learn new things, new roads will open before you. You'll learn about different directions that you can take and different things that you can do. So you go forward, But if you allow that negative pullback to hold you back, and if you really don't pursue your dreams and your aspirations because of that fear that they instilled within you, nothing is ever going to change for you. The only way that things are really going to change is when you really go past that negative backwards pull that your narcissistic parent created within you. Failure is inevitable. It's a part of life. And I teach this to my kids all the time. You're not going to be number one all the time. You're going to fail at stuff. But the trick is to get up. Get up and try again. Get up and keep trying. Whatever it is that you want to do, don't give up. Don't let their voice be your voice. Make your own voice, be stubborn. Use that wonderful stubbornness that you have within yourself to your advantage. It's a wonderful quality that you can use to your advantage, actually, stubbornness, And, remember also that failure, it shows you new pathways. It teaches you, it basically teaches you what not to do and what to do. It's not possible for you to be born and right away, okay, I'm successful, because if the first obstacle that you will hit, it's gonna break you, right? So it's not possible to not go through obstacles in life. You have to go through them. You have to be able to allow yourself to be a fool. Make those mistakes. Make them. Change your mind if you need to change your mind, okay? If you need to change direction, but keep going forward. You will learn from failure. Don't fear it. Don't fear it. Don't fear it. Okay? Embrace it. Embrace that inner fool within you. And take those tiny steps that you have to take to get yourself where you need to go. Failure is a learning opportunity. It's a learning opportunity. That's all it is. And this is something that our narcissistic parents never taught us. They taught us that failure is directly tied to or evil demonic characters, right? But that's not the case. It's not true. This is something that all human beings go through. And so start becoming mindful, of what exactly is holding you back from achieving what you want to achieve. And, if what the thing that's holding you back is those thoughts, that prison that the narcissistic parent created within your mind, that you can't do it, that you're a failure, you're gonna fail if you try, nobody will care, there's no point. That doesn't come from you. That is the conditioning that they put inside your head, and you gotta get past that. Getting past that is difficult, it's scary, it's terrifying, but do it anyways. Remember that, if you don't feel fear, then it's not courage. If you don't feel anything and you just do something, that's just doing something, right? Courage, it comes from you overcoming that fear. And it's those baby steps that will bring you where you want to go. So go ahead and allow yourself to be a fool. Allow yourself to make those mistakes. Allow yourself to make those mistakes, okay? And you will become a better person for it, okay? And as always, I will remind you to always repeat the mantra, I love myself, I trust myself, because you do have to learn how to trust yourself now, and how to love yourself now, and how to finally start doing those things that you've always wanted to do, but that you were afraid of doing. Start doing those things. I love myself, I trust myself, and baby steps, guys, baby steps.